Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my clown makeup tutorials and also day 13 of my 61 days of Halloween. In today's video I will be showing you how I created this monochromatic clown look. I have also already uploaded a tutorial on the scary split clown look and I will link that down below, and let's get into the video. I'm starting off by brushing some brow gel through my brows, and this is just tidy them up and keep them out of the way, and then moving straight on to eyeshadow primer and dabbing that on the lids and patting it in. I wasn't originally going to do eyeshadow as part of this look and I was going to leave the eyes blank, but I changed my mind last minute and I'm so glad I did. It definitely adds so much to this look. I've taken this black shade with a little bit of silver sparkle and I apply that with a long thin blending brush to the outer 2/3 of my eye in a circular motion on and just above the crease, and I slightly wing that out towards the end of my eye. I then buff out the harshness of the black with a shimmery silver shade until it is all blended out. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how on theme my tape is with the spooky little Halloween friends? On a very small flat brush, I take the bright white shimmer and I put that all across my lid. Okay, so now we're moving on to the fun part, and I'm dipping into my black face paint with a very thin brush and I'm just starting to mark out where I want those eye shapes to be. It's important to remember at this stage that they can be corrected. We're just doing a rough draft of where we want these shapes to be. Once I'm happy with the rough outline, I go ahead and fill that in with a slightly thicker face paint brush. Once it's filled in, you can get a much better idea of what it looks like, so you can go around the edges and perfect and change the shape to what you want it to look like. I repeat that same process above the eye and I make sure it is nice and sharp. I also decided to bring the bottom triangle right up to the eye line as well. The best way to make sure that you have the crispest lines is to take a clean, damp cotton bud and just rub down the sides of those lines and make sure that you are getting rid of any small little smudges that might have appeared. As you can see, it is quite a process to get the shape right, at least for me anyway, but I wanted to make sure the eyes were perfect, so I've taken the top triangle just below the brow and followed the shape of the eyeshadow to make sure that these shapes are flowing nicely together. Dipping into the white in that Snazaroo face paint palette again, I follow the exact same process that we've just done on the other side, so I'm going to fast forward through this one. After some time struggling to get a solid white base, I moved on to the Snazaroo Clown White in this pot. It's a creamy sort of paint and it made it so much easier and quicker to get that solid base that I was looking for. And I also use this quite a lot for detailing and I would super recommend it for details. I think having the triangle stop just above the eyeshadow and following that same shape adds this beautiful sleekness to the eye look. For the nose, I thought I would do my own take on the classic clown nose. So I took this Morphe M441 brush and dipped it into my black face paint. And I dabbed it on the end of my nose repeatedly to create this sort of smudged and smeary effect, which I ended up quite liking. I also added this white swirl on the end of the nose, which I think looked amazing on top of that black face paint. And I used that same clown white that you saw earlier on a very fine Suva brush to create this. The white paint does take some building, but it is definitely worth it. The payoff is so creepy and cute. Another iconic element of any clown look is the lips. So to do this, I take a quite thick face paint brush and dipping back in again to that same black face paint. I start off by just putting it on as if I would put on lipstick. So I'm just filling in my natural lips. I'm then gradually overlining the lips, making sure that I maintain the general lip shape. And then slowly I start to wing that out into a massive classic clown smile. Once again, I'm building up that shape very slowly and very carefully because especially when using black face paint, it's very easy to go wrong, and as much as you can most of the time clean it up, when you're using black face paint, it's better to just try not to make those mistakes to start with. I add layers to the center of the mouth until I am happy with the shape of it. This was proving particularly hard because I would do one side and then the other side would be uneven, but I did get there eventually. Using that super fine brush, I just dragged down the triangles to connect the face all together. On a very fine flat brush, I take that same clown white paint and I start to add it to the center of my lips and then rub my lips together to blend it out. I repeat that process until I am happy with the blend, and then I take a very small dense brush and I just start to buff out those edges, and I buff them right out towards the edges of the smile. A technique that I love, especially for a full face creative look like this, is the toothbrush flick trick. So all I do is I make sure that my face paint is really wet and I dip the bristles of this old manual toothbrush in there and make sure it is super wet so that you've got a lot of liquid, and you just brush your finger across the bristles and you flick that paint. I do advise that you try it on your arm first just so you can see how big the blobs that it's flinging are, otherwise you do risk ruining your entire look. I'm using that same toothbrush again and I've dipped it back into the black face paint, and I'm now dragging it down my neck to make it look like a clown ruffled collar. And I love that it looks like these are dirty brush strokes. Every brush stroke is unique and it looks very different, very dirty, and it's very creepy in the style that we're going for with this look. I did actually mean to get myself a clown ruffled collar for these looks, but I obviously forgot, and I'm actually happy because I found this technique really added character to this look, and the style of it somewhat reminds me of Twisty, the clown from American Horror Story, where it's kind of dirty, kind of gross and creepy, but without all the gore. And then for those last final finishing touches, I take that same brush that I used for my nose earlier and I very dryly dip it into the face paint, and I dab that on the upper part of my cheeks as the little circle clown blush. As you can see, I've put in a black and white contact that is a swirl, and the other side is just a white with a black rim. And now I'm coating my lashes on the side that has the black triangles with just a spoolie that has been covered in the same white face paint so that you can see the contrast against the black triangles. And then I use normal mascara on my other side with the white triangles. And that is it, guys. That is the look complete. I am so happy with how this turned out. It turned out even better than I had imagined. And I think it is the perfect combination of kind of creepy, kind of cute, kind of want to meet you in a dark alleyway, but also really adorable. Thank you so much if you've watched this to the end. I love making these videos, and I will have so many more Halloween tutorials coming. I will have another very simple, very subtle clown one coming next week. So if you like this one, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you would like to see in any future Halloween tutorials or videos in general. And subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much again. See you in the next one.